That should be locked. I set it to where, oh, maybe that was on the previous one. Let's try this. So for anyone that is joining publicly, this is actually a test run for my Soul Pod group. Hey, Candace, yes. Yes, you're here. Good. Okay. Can you hear me? First of all, let's go through this and see if it's going to work. Can you hear me speaking? And it's raining too, so I'm trying to get us set up to where okay, beautiful. So now here we go. Let me know if you can hear it. Beautiful. Thank you, Angie. Thank you for letting me know. Can you hear the singing bowl? Yes. Ah, brilliant. Angie, thank you. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. And the beautiful part of this is it's going to be recorded, so now we don't have to worry about Zoom. Amazing. Welcome. Okay, welcome everyone. I'm going to finish I'm just going to scoot this over, try to get out of the rain. It's kind of really in the rain right now, so I'm going to try to get it not so really in the rain. Beautiful. And I did have it set up to where I could turn it sideways and keep my phone charging, but it's not going to let me do that because I forgot to change it when I went live again. So beautiful, beautiful. This is why I love our Soul Pod. This is why I love doing this together. This is amazing. You guys are brilliant. You guys are wonderful. So, living transmission of light today. We're going to bring forth new coding, and I have it as public just because I did not know. I think if you're my subscriber, I think you can join if it's private, but just so that we could get this rolling, I'm just keeping it public for right now, and I'll go back and change it. Because I do believe when it's private, either you have to be on my Facebook or my YouTube account, my whatever subscriber, and then of course I can send the link. So, yes. Oh, you can. Yes, the rain is. It is beautiful. Like we've gone. This is the first time that we've had rain in. We've had rain one time in the last. Besides this, maybe one or two times in the last 2 months. Which this is always like a drier time for us. So it's just the way it is this time of year. Usually December is has more moisture. So, but I want to show you guys. Check out my mic. I really like this mic, and I'm going to try using it later, but I'm not going to go through all of that right now. But it's pretty awesome. So I do have the mic. I actually feel like since it's working in this way that it probably will work. So I do have that, and I'm going to use it for sure. I just want to go ahead and get mojoing with this. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, everyone, welcome. Let me go ahead and put this in here because it's getting absolutely soaked. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So you guys know, because you guys have heard me talking about it in our group space, what today's transmission is going to be about. I'm going to sit this inside the cabin really quickly, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. Because it's getting a lot of moisture in it. There we go. All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, welcome. How is everyone doing? And Angie, in terms of commenting in here, which I can see it when it pops up, but for me, I'm just going to show you what I have on my screen. There is at the bottom of the screen, which is probably going to look different for me than it is for you because it shows me where I can flip my camera, And then there's a chat button, and then there's a filter button. So I can make it pop, bring the colors out more, which is nice. If it'll actually work. So there we go. All right, you guys. So today's transmission, we are going to, it's going to be quite a bit coming in. The main aspect is going to be the coding, which is the Lotus Flower of the Dragon Moon. And Lotus Flower of the Dragon Moon is going to really begin assisting in the third eye even more than what's already been in motion. And what's interesting is you guys saw in my notes that I posted in the WhatsApp group that there was a rift, a greater rift in time and space. And this rift in time and space has been really, really, really disintegrating and breaking down projected future timelines. I had like so much move through last night and into this morning. That was a part of those projected future timelines of the life and death cycles. And it was interesting because you guys saw that in my notes of how I was moving through that and how intense it was, because I normally, especially now, do not recognize energy in a way that makes me feel sad, because I've moved through it, the majority of it, but there is still that aspect, the one and only aspect that remains for me, is something that I'm always consistently pulled back into, and it's I don't want to say that. I'm not consistently pulled back into it, but I am pulled back into it right now. It's been a minute where I have that thought form come through in regards to Bruiser. And that's my soul child in this realm. So watching him battle with the fear and the disablement in his body, and even for me being someone that can heal in such a way, the one thing that I was told was that this was his choice to experience it in this way, which is a difficult thing, and I leave that with you guys. So because I know that we all move through in regards to that we have someone we love, someone we care about dearly, and when we watch them moving through some form of disability or sickness or disease, it can be a bit difficult, especially when you know that that's going to end in death at some point. And since the life and death cycles are cycling out in this realm, it's interesting because what I was shown is that this is part of a projected future timeline, so that he will actually be with me for a lot longer than he normally would have been, even with these issues. But it's still difficult. So that was moving through. And I was reminded of these to just move out of the mind, just to move out of that experience, move out of that perception and see it for what it is, which I did. You guys saw that in the notes. And it's something that has, even for me when I think of that, like I will experience the actual moment of that projected timeline, which is what I have to pull myself back from. So I leave this with you guys so that you're aware that when the energy is moving through us and we perceive the situation, or we perceive a projected future or a past that's already been experienced, it is vital for us to bring ourselves back into our place of center, which is the heart. Because I know, regardless of the projected future, what it was going to be, what it is now, regardless, we're always here. We're even if he goes through the death cycle as part of his soul agreement, I know that we are never separate. Of course, it's still difficult. Because we have the availability of emotion in this realm. And Becca, if you will just, if I don't know if you're here, Becca, but if you are here, all you have to do is click on the, which of course if you were here, you'd already know. But for anyone that's here, I will always share the link and you guys can join that way. But that's a point of experience. It's a point of experience. As soon as it moved through and I was shown the probable projected future, I could step into that and I could be just completely, I could choose to be completely enveloped in that, or I could choose to come back to the heart. I could choose to come back and say, I recognize that I honor it for what it is, and I honor his path for what it is, for what he's chosen, because, I bring everything in, I call everything in, and I apply everything in the same way I have for myself and you guys. And I have watched myself completely transform. I no longer experience the discomfort or the disease or the disharmony or the pain in the way that I used to. So I know, and as do all of you that have been here with me, you know that this process does work. And because the only thing that provides that is the mind, just like the mind was providing me with an opportunity to view this energy in a way where I could see that, okay, that's a timeline that's releasing. These rifts in time and space are breaking down. And as they break down, we get to witness them. And we get to recognize what they could still be if we chose to hold on to that energy. So, but it's intense. And it's very difficult to separate yourself from that energy and recognize it for what it is and just allow it to move through. I still feel it moving through my heart, but it's on, it's been on its way. Of course, it's on its way out, but I feel it. I've every time it moves, anything like that moves through the heart, of course, it's going to be felt even more intensely. So that's why we come to this realm, is to experience for ourselves the life and death cycles, which of course now those are ending, but also so that we can experience it through others, so that we have the gift of that aspect of losing someone, because it actually is a gift, as unbearable as it can seem. And even as I say that, it's very difficult for me to say that, because I have such, I have such love. That's my child in this realm. That was the relationship that we chose with each other. So it's a very difficult thing to say, but it's also very much the truth. It's a gift because it gives us the opportunity to cherish what we have. That's the whole point of it. We lose sight of that, though, right? We lose sight of that. We look at death as something that's doom and gloom and loom. But and of course, that's a part of the illusion. It's necessary. It's necessary so that you can come back in and work on your cycle again and work on mastery again, stepping into awakening. And that's what everyone's doing. So welcome, Becca. So it's very much, life and death cycles have served the exact purpose they were meant to serve. But it does not mean that it's easy still to accept it for what it is. So in regards to Bruiser, that's what I've been moving through. And it's still difficult. This is one thing I have not visited in a while with him and in regards to him. So being back here and visiting that has, it's been a great teaching, a great teacher in and of itself. It's teaching me, once again, how to master that, as it's moving out. So this is another thing that each of you are witnessing as these projected future timelines are collapsing, as well as the past timelines that you've already experienced, the trauma, right? We've spoken to that. You guys are, those of you that spoke into it are already aware, the past life, the death cycles, speaking in terms of death cycles, those that were taken from this realm, not by choice, but by force. Which is how the red ray became very distorted, was through that. The taking of another's life is one of the greatest distortions in this realm. And the souls that choose to be the ones that kill, and the souls that choose to be the ones that get killed, they serve that purpose of karmic cycles. And that's something we sign, it's what you sign up for. but it carries with it a lot of really dense energy, not high vibrational, not high, not light density, right? But karmic density. So, but it's interesting if you can start viewing it from a slightly different lens. Someone took your life because they felt triggered by something you were doing, or there was something that was so alluring about you that it caused them the feeling of this necessity, this need to in order for them to uphold the mental capacity of such psychosis, they must feed that need. And so you serve a great purpose when you actually are the soul whose vessel is taken in such a way. um it's it's actually a gift, because you chose to have those layers of karmic experience, so that when you did awaken, you could learn how to shine your light with such vulnerability, with the awareness of what took place, and still with this awareness that, oh my goodness, that's what caused someone to kill me in a past life, was that vulnerability. And when you stand in that vulnerability from a place of awakening and truth, and then that karmic energy just disintegrates, it dissolves, it just becomes like butter, it just melts away. That's the power in the recognition, that's the power in the awakening, and that's the power of witnessing yourself and your past life self in the now moment, and what has been taking place in the physical vessel, that is quite literally reflecting that specific moment in time where someone took your life. And so when you come into this awareness, like those in my soul pod have, that you recognize that, these physical symptoms that I've been experiencing, we know it has nothing to do with the organs. We know it's that the organs and the representation that they provide, that's just another symptom. The organs provide the symptom. It's really about what's there in the chakra, what was imprinted in that moment, and what are you carrying, what are you allowed. So once you recognize it, then you recognize at that point you've awakened, you've allowed yourself to become so open and so activated within the light, that now the chakras can start to truly cleanse themselves, and they have the capacity to remain open and cleansed, and allow this energy that was imprinted to continually move and be released. The issue is not, and it's not even an issue, but it has nothing really to do even about the death itself or what happened. It's just that energy, that imprint, it needs the light, and it needs the love, so that it can go back into being emotion and not being stuck as an imprint. So grateful for each of you, and so much has been moving through. I do feel, especially because I was given insight as to these. I don't know. I was given the guidance to, if you guys desire it, a few different movie options you can delve into, but I want you to watch them from a place of what you're moving through, and receive. You can watch it with your kids, or you can watch it in your downtime for fun. But the message is very palpable in what came through in these movies. So, of course, you guys know Harry Potter is always going to be up there with it. But the Secrets of Dumbledore, that movie there's a couple of different things I feel that you guys can pick up in that one. But the other one was, what is it now? Doctor Strange. And because one of the stones is a time stone. and it actually shows different aspects of like what happens, of course, when you mess with time, or different aspects of time. um, that's another one that can be, I feel, that you can watch and actually gain some conscious insight from. As for fun, you can also watch Gaia. um, as Becca has actually, I've got to drop my email in there, so, and I've got to get it set up first. I haven't actually set it up, you guys, so I'll get that set up. But all of these provide us with that insight from a movie perspective, but it gives us an opportunity to actually really see something a little bit differently than the mind wants to try to construct it, because in the movies we have the imagery of the imagination. um yeah, that's every time I watch movies now, if I watch them, and really the only ones I will watch is Harry Potter, but if I watch them, I always receive a message from them. So just a few, that's just something that you can do. So as we go into this coding, what's going to happen is there's going to start being, this is already in motion, but it's going to happen to an even greater degree. And I just looked up and it was 2121 with 2 viewers. With the third eye coding coming in, you're really going to start experiencing an even greater disintegration of of what we see as reality, and how you're viewing it and experiencing it even from the outside in, because what's taking place from the inside is opening up. It's opening up greater and greater and greater. We know this, but this is going to be another one of those major shifts with this code that's coming in. So because this code is also focused on the third eye, what's happening is, you guys have felt it, right? You felt it. We just moved through the throat chakra, and now it's time for the third eye. What's happening is the lower dantian is being cleansed and cleared, and all this energy is just pulling it upwards. So we're able to reclaim all of these past timelines while simultaneously clearing and reclaiming all projected future that were going to be, but no longer are necessary or needed. And this was true for every single one of you that had started your journey. Up until joining this space, you still had projected future timelines. So now that everyone is on the path of the one timeline of the heart, and now that we are all here and we are all anchored into the heart and we are doing this together, and you guys have experienced this with me, and it's so powerful how we are transmuting together, and how each of you is able to move through this with that state of conscious awareness and recognize what is taking place and choosing it, which is so beautiful. As Leah said today, that was, I also had someone reach out from my past that is a friend, and I know she's just saying hey and sending me her love, but I also know the intention there is she's moving. This is a hard time of the year for her. So she's wanting that connection, but I'm not giving any response for a very good reason, because that energy is not aligned with me any longer. So I don't even give a response. I don't say, I used to reach out and be like, oh, hey, thanks for reaching out, sending you my love. It's just not aligned for us to connect. I used to say that. I don't even say that anymore, because I don't owe anything. Everything has already been fulfilled. I don't even owe a response. And so that's loving myself, and that's loving and upholding the integrity of where I am, and loving her and letting her fulfill her destiny instead of me interjecting. Because even if I interjected and I said something, it's not going to be able to be received. She's just going to be like, it'll trigger her, but not into doing something that would assist her to a greater degree. It would just be a trigger that would frustrate her more, and maybe that would be needed, maybe it wouldn't, but in this case I didn't feel it was aligned, so I didn't send the message. If it felt like it was something that was needed, I would have. but that's long since passed. Since I stepped away, and I think I mentioned that months ago, that it was just no longer aligned for us to be connected. So I ended that. And you know, each of you are in a space where this is going to be a consistent necessity. Absolutely, absolutely, Angie. That's true love and that's true support, is because a lot of times we feel that we need to be there supporting someone, but what we're doing is we're degrading our own integrity, because we know that there's really nothing that we can provide for them because they can't receive what we are. And if they can't receive what we are and they're not choosing to be where we are vibrationally, then it's done. That's it. That's the end of the agreement. And if you consistently try to pull them to where you are, it's not going to work either, because they don't really want to be where you are. If they did, they would make that choice. So you can't support them and you can't love them into choosing. They must fulfill their own destiny. So this coding and today is going to bring forth. Of course, each one of these transmissions are powerful in their own right, but I do feel that you guys are really going to start seeing those. You're really going to start experiencing time disillusion even greater. The dissolving of the illusion, a dissolving of the desire to fulfill the illusion in the same way that you have. And I was, I've been witnessing in my environment how, especially over the energy of the last few months, how I had really wanted to be more involved. Like, here's the trick of the mind. I would go sit in the living room to spend time, to be with Bruiser, to spend time, to do a healing. And the mind is like, okay, well, it's spending time with my parents as well. But they're not seeking that necessarily with me. They're just wanting to watch the TV. So when I go into that environment, there's this automatic wanting to respond to the toxicity. Like, as those of us that are what we are, that uphold this path, that's kind of an automatic with us. We want to step in and we want to say, that's not right. It's not right. And I felt myself always, and it was almost like an automatic reaction, like it would come. And then I'm like, wow, why did I even respond? Because now I've gotten to where I don't. Like, because the questions that are asked of me, I know that within a matter of a half a second, it's going to be answered by that person. It's not necessary for me to provide my energy. And this is also where I'm really starting to master even greater how I honor the fulfillment of their destiny and the toxicity that they are, without attempting to intervene at all. And it can be difficult, it can be difficult, but it's also necessary. So, and even with Bruiser, even with watching Bruiser going through what he's going through, watching his body and watching how he's just absolutely terrified to come outside. I know that we all deal with things in our environment with a person that we love or care about, that we really just, we feel like if we can just keep doing this, or if we can just keep doing that, we can just try this or try that, we'll fix it, and it'll get better. But we end up smothering ourselves with that mind control, and we end up smothering the other person as well. And that's what I've been, I've watched myself start to feed back into that with Bruiser again. And the one thing, as stated, that I kept hearing was that this was his choice. And that's very hard to know, that he chose to experience a vessel that would break down. And that also at one point in time, due to my choice and him choosing to be on my path, my own choices were a contributing energy to that. And it's very hard, but it's also that's what we chose. And so what I've been working through is honoring that. As much as my heart, I want to say, oh well, it breaks my heart to say that, but it really doesn't. It just disturbs my mind. My heart is already open and accepting of what it is. It just breaks the mind. That's what it does. It doesn't break the heart, it breaks the mind. So anytime you choose to step away from that, break the mind a little more and a little more and a little more, and even just saying it, I can feel that, because the mind is still an operating factor. It's still an operating factor. And as we break it down and break it down and break it down, we're always going to have it there until we don't. We're always going to have it there ready to step in. Even when all the beliefs, even when all the subconscious programming and all of it's gone, there's still going to be an opportunity for it to step back in. And especially anytime, that's one of my biggest masteries in this lifetime, right? Is I chose to be in this environment, which the coming year that will change, but for the time that I'm here, that's where I've chosen to be, and that agreement must fulfill itself. As it's fulfilling itself, I need to honor that and fulfill it in the greatest capacity. So whether you're in a relationship, whether you're married, whether you have children, whether you just have friends that you've been around, whatever the case is, whatever the situation, this applies for everyone. And especially when you have someone that it's someone you really love and care about, whether that's a partner, a husband, a wife, or children, it's a hard one. It's a hard one. But it is what is. And everything that I've called in, I came to the point to where I was asking, am I doing something wrong? And no is the answer. No. And but it's also what I've been shown is that I need to just pull back to provide what I provide for you guys. And I provide this, I speak, and I provide this right here, right now, and I speak what I am moving through in hopes that it will assist you all always, where I just need to take a step back and I need to be fully immersed in the light. Instead of bringing it to him, call him into the light with me, because the light is wherever I go. I know this. But sometimes when the mind wants to step back in, when the mind starts choosing to step back in, you're not offering from a place of light. You're offering from a place of ego. And so you have to be very careful with that. So if I was going to be offering from a place of light, and because like I said, ego is a part of the illusion. And until the illusion is no more, ego is still going to be an option. So this is why it's vital that you are consistently choosing consciousness. And I say this even for myself. So this is why it's even more important that I remain within a conscious state, where I come in and I do something like this, or even inside I go into a conscious state where I just remain in astral travel or whatever it is, but I call him and his soul and his vessel and his energy there with me, because it's already there with me. All I need to do is just say, this is where, in this moment, in this experience, I desire for your energy to be in this experience with me. I ask permission from his higher self, and I ask permission from his soul, and I ask permission from his oversoul, and therefore we meet in true oneness, and all that is necessary or needed is fulfilled in that moment. So instead of me trying to go over here and just consistently give and give and give and give, I give from in here. And he can feed from, he can be present in that with me. And he can be receiving that in the only place he can actually receive it. In the illusion, that's why I say that the healing modalities that we have always known are not there as a support system. But the true healing takes place by turning inward and being fully conscious and aware that we are that self. That what we experience with our children, we don't just experience in the illusion. I mean, that's part of it, right? We experience that fragile self with them. But the true experience happens in the heart. That's the true reality. And if we're meeting in the heart, then we don't have to be out here to do it. We're in here. So I want you guys to practice this today. Um, I will guide you because I'm gonna bring Bruiser's energy here with us. And see, it's interesting. I feel like crying now because that was a major release. Just speaking that, shifting that energy. That's how you shift the energy. Is you're not chasing anything out here to make it work, and you're not chasing anything out here to heal it. You go inward. You go into the heart. You go into your sacrosanct space. And then from within here, everything happens. That's where the real motion happens. That's where everything happens. So that's why I want you guys to start practicing calling energies here to you and stating your intention that all souls that you are connected with, that you are meant to be connected with in this now moment, just state your intention that they receive this with you, because on a higher level they are already there. But in order for it to show up in the reality, we must intend it to be. That's how it comes into this density. Is we already exist there, but in order for us to experience it in our projected reality, we must first experience it in our inward reality, the true reality, in order for it to become an external experience. And this has, of course, always been true in regards for manifestation. But what I'm guiding you guys in, and the energy you're in now, this is the manifestation of the heart. This is the manifestation of the one true reality. So this is how we bring that inner consciousness, that place where we go and we visit. That's how we bring it into existence here, because we have to bring it into. We have to first be aligned to it, because it cannot become if we are not that becoming state. We must first become it, and then it becomes what we experience consistently. So I do still feel that that's going to be, I know that's going to be a part of the process, at least for a little while longer. So that's what we need to work on practicing. And I say this for myself as well. Something that I have to consistently uphold too. So let's do that. So if anyone is driving, please be sure that you stop the video now. You do not want to be listening to this video if you are driving, because you will go into a state of higher consciousness. And when you are in a state of higher consciousness, your mind is not going to be in operation. So you will go, your unconscious vessel, which is ran by the subconscious mind, will actually go into full unconsciousness. The mind will no longer be accessing the vessel. So that's what happens. The mind is always connected to the body, right? So everything that you do and everything that you experience, think about it. And no, I'm glad that I'm not glad that it happened, but I'm, as a reminder, that it does need to be stated in every transmission. So, but I'm so grateful that you're okay, Becca. I wish it had not happened, but it is a good reminder to state it before we get started. So if you are driving or if you are operating any machinery, please make sure that you discontinue this video, and you can always come back and watch later, because you will go into a state of higher consciousness and you will not be able to access your body and operate in the way that you think. So I'm going to call everyone now into taking a few deep breaths. And I'm going to shift this right here. There we go. Just begin taking a few deep breaths, and let's just come into connection with our heart space. Go ahead and set your intention and place your intention in the heart space. And let's also set the intention that those that we are connected to through soul agreement, I'm going to include in my intention Bruiser. So I set the intention that Bruiser's physical body, mental body, and emotional body all receive what is here in this transmission. So I invite his energy to join us now. And you can call anyone into the space energetically and ask, but first, Ask the permission. So I ask on behalf of Bruiser, and I ask with permission of his higher self and oversoul to allow access to this transmission. So, okay, permission has been granted. So always be sure that you ask, do not assume. So thank you. So I call his energy into this space. I call his energy into this experience along with us. Meeting in the heart space. I'm getting the crystals set up. Here we go. So, got the vortex set up. In this living transmission of light, we are going to step into a portal of purification, and we are going to step into a portal of activation. Already are, but just speaking the truth, that we are joined together in this portal. We are anchored into the heart. So also set your intention that you are, not just your intention, state your truth, that you are anchored into your crystalline heart. And so you can repeat after me. I state the truth that I am now anchored into the ascending crystalline grid of the Magi Grail heart. I call my energy into my crystalline heart, and this is where my awareness remains. I speak the truth that this is accessed through higher consciousness. And I call down now the liquid golden light of higher consciousness to connect and anchor into the heart space. And within this single pillar of light resides your awareness. I call down now the I Am Higher Self presence for each soul in this space. And I would also like to call in Metatron as above and Sandalphon as below to oversee the energies. Ina rum ash ana rama das iado noro shian. I also want to call in through my central channel, and this is going to connect to each and every one of you in your central channel. I call in all cosmic stellar races of the highest love light resonance. These cosmic stellar races are your guides. But as you are ascending into your higher self, I want you to witness yourself as them, as they are their own unique individual signature, but together you are also one. You are doing this as one. You are doing this simultaneously. So witness yourself in such power. That the only thing that prohibits you from experiencing the fullness of yourself in such higher consciousness is the mind. So with the I Am Higher Self presence fully here and anchored, we're going to also state that the mind is dormant and allowing the emotions to balance and come into a state of neutral point. So just going to go into a flat line. Rumarash ki andanoma yelari andas andoro ashiana kiado. So just continue breathing in the light. Each in-breath, breathing in the light from 360 degrees around. Each out-breath, you are exhaling all lower vibration, heavy, dense energies from within the systems of the body. And I state the truth that all gateways that are called forth and anchored are anchored in the heart, that all organs, all blood, bones, systems of the body are receiving from the heart. The heart is not just an organ, it is a crystalline access point. And it is not only pumping blood, that's the illusionary aspect, but it is also pumping light force energy throughout your light body. So your crystalline heart, just like your physical organic, is the central point. It is the central point where everything meets at this axis. Igiaru Ashana. I state the truth that we are stepping now into our body of light. We are stepping into our Merkaba. So call forth your body of light. Call forth your Merkaba. Rum-marash. Yin-narash. Yin-narash. Rum. Give yourself a moment to acclimate as you step into this vessel, this immaculate I am. So going to give a moment just to allow you to acclimate. And I'm going to go ahead and call forth the Venezian Gateway. Calling forth the Venezian Gateway to anchor into the heart. I'm also hearing Syrian, so calling forth the Syrian Gateway to join us and anchor into the heart. Dorian. I'm also hearing Dorian. Okay, so they are joining us from Planet Muir. So if you've heard of Lemurians here, Planet Muir is the home sphere of those that have joined us from that avatar of experience, which we would call Lemurians. Their starseed residence began on Muir. And these are also those that come to us with dragon energy. So the Planet Muir was also, of course, one of the assistants in creating the geometric or genome structure for the human kingdom to provide access for this point of activation. So just allow yourself to feel that connection point in the heart as they join us and assist us in this point of ascension. And Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is present with us. Kuan Yin is also one of the Dragon Mother Ascended Master Tribe Council members. Iria Rum Arak Ashani. Sian Arishata Sandarikiana Iaru Oroshias I Anas Adas Ianasia Andarashiana Igiaru Sanasia Ridiatosh Ana. Igiatork is and Arash. So I'm going to begin. I'm also going to call down this sheath of it's liquid golden copper, and it's enveloping the entire spherical space around you. And this is just, you can think of this as a womb space. So you are encased within this womb space, but within this womb space, you're not confined. As a matter of fact, you can feel the infinite capacity that resides within this space. And I feel a lot of energy beginning to move around the rib cage. So we've got a lot of energy already beginning to move from the lower dantian. I'm also going to go ahead and call in the crystalline serpent. Arum agrish aniando arash. I call in the coding of the crystalline serpent to begin moving, begin the lower chakras and the root, and beginning its cleansing, clearing, activating, and expansion within each chakra point. So this is, we could say, this is like the crystalline kundalini. This would be the kundalini energy of the light body. Although the energy of the light body happens from the heart and goes outwards, but for this point, we also need to bring all energy of organic into harmony and resonance, and we need to bring the light body into the full existence. That's why the crystalline heart is the new access point. So energy does not travel fully from the lower to the upper, although, because even with the access to the crystalline grid is also accessed through your heart, your central grid point. So it is piercing all chakra points, but it's anchoring in the heart. So it's its anchor point. So this is where it resides. I call up the crystalline serpent, and I'm going to ask the crystalline serpent to begin piercing each chakra from base to crown, and just allowing it to move, magnetize, clear, and cleanse all energy from each chakra. This is providing the foundational beginning point so that we can integrate this coding. And of course, this coding is going to come in layers. We build it and we just layer and layer and layer this higher vibrational energy. And so each time you rise up out of the mind, you are rising up into a layer of this light force energy. So I'm going to ask the Venusian gateway to begin the physical body reparations and restorations and begin working and mending the, I'm hearing root. So they are going to be doing some work in the root chakra. And they are going to work between the root and the sacral. And Sirian is going to work between the solar plexus and heart. Beautiful. So what they're going to be doing is they're going to be working not only on the physical body, the organic body, and providing reparations, but reparations also to your etheric body. So I want to call in now all fragments of soul self that are present on timelines of projected future or previously experienced past. So calling all fragments of soul self back now. And I'm calling these fragments back into the heart space. Each of these fragments of self must pass through the portal of the heart for purification, coming into reclamation, coming into wholeness, coming into oneness. Arandash Anum. And I'm also starting to see the 5-headed rainbow elephant. This coding was also present for crown and third eye. The 5-headed elephant is resting in the crown. And I would like for you to just experience yourself as your body of light. Experience yourself as the immaculate I am, while simultaneously witnessing whatever else is here for you. Seeing yourself as each and every identity of self that was projected future or already previously experienced past. So allow this energy to return to you now. And I'm going to call in the mighty fire dragons to begin enveloping the crown. And I'm going to ask the mighty fire dragons to remain in the crown, providing an expansiveness to the portal, allowing all energy to flow in, into, and through our crown from universal consciousness, but also for it to flow back upwards, outwards, and allow us to send all energy that is no longer necessary, that is no longer able to provide us with an aligned experience of the light. I am going to call that energy now into the eternal womb, back to the grand central sun, all energy of a lower vibrational experience, all energy that was here and provided for projected future and projected past. I want to call these aspects of self now into the heart space. And as these energies are passing through the heart, they're passing through the gateway of truth and they're being purified. And then they are being returned back to the grand central sun, back to the womb of creation. And all energy of the light that is already here for your experience is available for you now. And just as we began and experienced, not just began, but experienced the activation of the inner child from a state of joy, purity, harmony, and peace, I'm going to call forth this activated inner child. And I'm going to call forth this activated inner child and the energy of the unicorns to work along with the Avalonian, the dragons of Muir, to work along with the Avalonian dragons, the emerald golden dragons, to provide integration on a cellular level. So the DNA is undergoing upgrades. And as I begin to bring forth with Kuan Yin, this lotus flower of the dragon moon, or lotus flower of the dragon moon, I'm going to call in another Dragon Mother Ascended Master, Merlin. So calling in Merlin to come to the third eye, join us in this portal of the third eye. So Merlin will be joining through the portal of the third eye, anchored energy into the heart space. And of course, Kuan Yin is also joining us. And I'm feeling that there are a few, we've got some presence of some beings that were not incarnate on this plane, but they have had their ascended mastery on other arenas of experience. Dornan. That's something that keeps coming through, Dornan. I also feel that's Bruiser's energy joining us as well. So thank you, Brew. I love you. I heard him respond. Arcturians. How is this energy like to be expressed? Of the love and of the light. So Darnon and Darthur. Iria taraktash andarani andoro. Daran ish andaras anda. Inash andarash. Join us. Darati kandarash anda. Join us now as we move from the heart to the third eye. Let us join together in a state of higher consciousness. Idaraktosh andas. Inandaras ish andas. Igadaro ana. Moro shan ish anda. Within the third eye portal, and all those that join us in the integration of this coding, I call down now. Lotus flower of the dragon moon. Feel that third eye portal open and expand, allowing all energy from the heart to surface, to come forth, and allowing all energy from higher consciousness to come down. I am seeing so many beautiful geometric designs. The architecture of this is quite astounding. What do you see? It is unique for each of you. What do you see in the third eye? I was presented with a sigil of the seraphim. It's in a sigil of Illumina. And the sigil of Illumina, the silver clover entwined within golden wings, enveloped in this opalescent violet flame that is present. And the energy flowing through the vessel is quite profound at this moment. I'm going to give a moment for the energy to integrate. Just allow yourself to surrender, be open and receptive through the third eye. It is actually coming in through the crown, and you are experiencing it through the gateway of the third eye. And just allow yourself to receive whatever is here for you. There is a beautiful dragon of emerald fire, seraphim energy, Pegasus energy, Zofar. I've gotten that before, Zofar. Ein Sof, Ein Sofer, Ein Sof. The eternal. Yare Varhe, the eternal I am. Feel the presence of Mother Creatrix, Father Source. Feel yourself as you are enveloped into this energy of the eternal womb. And I can just feel the energy rising. It is pure ecstasy. And my entire body is vibrating, shaking. Calling forth the lifting of the veil, calling forth the lifting of all time space that has been consistent in blocking the third eye. We release this now. We are fully open and present in consciousness. We are fully aware of our eternal sacred selves. Rumba Shandush Ganata. There are so many beautiful star beings that are here. I feel the solar angels are also here, providing reparations to the mental body. Ultraviolet angelic flame is cleansing the emotional body. Just feel yourself as being immersed as one with these energies. And I just feel my entire, it's like this intense, I can feel it. It's like I feel my body being weighed down. It feels very heavy, but at the same time it feels light. There's an immense amount of DNA upgrades happening. Rundash andos ikiada, narot ingi anda, narot undos ing anda. This is a declaration of freedom. This is a declaration of reclamation. We honor our beingness. We honor our sovereignty. We honor our sacredness. As we float within the flame of the heart, we rise through the throat. We rise to the third eye. And even from the third eye, we rise and we kiss the crown, receiving our crown of consciousness, and we come back down to the third eye. Wearing this crown of consciousness, we penetrate the illusion, and we anchor now this rose code of ascension. I declare, as a purity carrier, as an indigo rose carrier, as the Sasha Mara, as the representative of the Seraphim Cherubim, I speak the truth that this integration and declaration of freedom is in motion. As the integration of the lotus flower of the dragon moon is now in motion. Indarash Ansia. It's almost difficult for me to do this. Inash Arashananian Andarashian Oruashian Arum Hanata Anna Om Yanarash Iya Iya Om. Feel the freedom of the throat chakra. Feel as your heart is just so open, so expansive. Feel how you are. You are all of this. You are the gateway of the heart, and you are the heart. You are the gateway of the third eye. You are the third eye. You are the presence. You are the I am. Lotus flower of the dragon moon. It is like a liquid, like liquid honey, and it's just dripping all the way over you, seeping into and through your skin, seeping into and through your pores. And it is just going into each crevice, and it is releasing. It is calling all of these illusionary identities to pass through the heart. It is calling all connection to the illusion, all connection to the sacral. It is calling it back up into the womb, or back up into the womb of creation, I should say. So the false womb is now aligning itself to the light. I'm just going to have to take a moment and be in this. The entire neural network is being redesigned, restructured. And I actually I almost feel like my body, like I was picked up and moved energetically. And that everything to the left of me is just reclaimed. I feel all of the density ascending into the light. I can even feel itchiness, like my skin, everything is being upgraded. Ingadash Amuro In, I call in balance and harmonization, allowing the physical organic to receive this coding in harmony and flow, and allowing everything to come into alignment with ease, with grace, speaking the truth, that this is under the direction of the higher self, that the mind has no place. The mind is now called to serve from a place of spirit. The mind is now called to serve from a place of higher self. So now your access point to the mind will all be coming from a great state of greater alignment to consciousness. So you should start noticing a greater alleviation. This is sense of being alleviated of the intensity of the mind control. So lotus flower of the dragon moon is imprinting itself on each chakra, starting from crown, going to third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral, root, while simultaneously we have the crystalline serpent coating, which has been rising from the root, or rather from the earth chakra. And I want you to really feel where your connection to the back of the neck chakra. This is your connection to God. This is your connection to your universal chakra. So I want you to feel, that's why we feel a lot of intensity around the neck and from the wing space up a lot of times, is because we are being positioned and aligned consistently, and we are always our higher self is always working at the direction of us when we are in a state of consciousness to bring us into harmony. That's why when you are in a state of the mind, you feel the distortions and the discomfort. When you're in a state of consciousness, everything goes back into its erect state. Everything, and I feel this as well. So I want us to start working. I know this is where we are kind of in a meditative state, but I want us to start working on bringing this, and I'm going to set this as the intention, that we bring this into, and this is our truth. This is our new natural state. So I'm going to call the mind into purity, but also into pure alignment with the higher self. And I'm going to speak the truth and state the directive that we are now ascending the mind, calling the higher self in to oversee this ascension of mind, and allowing everything to pass through the gateway of the heart, passing into and through your gateway of truth, reflecting to you in this hall of mirrors all versions of self that are necessary for you to recognize so that they may be reclaimed. See them in this now moment. Iria oro shiandano anarashan yanarashan yana yana I lift the organic vessel into the light. I lift the organic mind into the light. I lift the perception of emotions into the light. I call each of these sacred expressions into harmony with the higher self. I pull all souls in this transmission up into the meeting point and their connection point to the fifth dimension. I call each soul into this experience now, entering the vortex of the heart, allowing the self to catch up energetically, the vessel is being pulled upwards, upwards, upwards. It is rising, it is rising, it is rising. I actually feel my musculoskeletal structure as being more erect and more in alignment than it ever has. And I can feel, as you guys see, I'm just kind of bobbling back and forth. Calling upon the higher self now to oversee the alignment of the musculoskeletal and the alignment of the vessel. So just allow yourself to fall into a state of relaxation even more fully, allowing the higher self to oversee, bringing you into alignment with your body of light, but also bringing the physical body into its highest state of reparation and restoration. Oroshoti naratash andasi. Ingaratash andado maroki anda. Ina. Ina. Ramada se inarusha. This is beautiful. I see the those starseed councils that are here assisting us. I see this beacon of light, and they are joining us, each from their gateway, and they are assisting in integrating the cosmic coding. You might even feel the connection point in your spine, like I do. I just feel like something. I can feel it. I can my spine. I can feel it's almost like I'm being pulled up, like somebody was pulling me up by the shirt, but it's like they're pulling me up by the spine. Allowing all adjustments to be made, all healing to take place, all aspects of the vessel, all cells are now healed on a level, bringing them into the highest state of wellness, the highest state of health. So, calling your blueprint of health into its highest state, calling it into clearing, calling it into purification. Also, all souls that we intended to join us are now also gaining this clearing and cleansing of their etheric, physical. Okay. So beautiful. All of our galactic cosmic brethren have been assisting us working in the fields, and I just see layer upon layer upon layer of light. So many layers of light in this portal. And I want everyone to be aware that even though I speak into these, they are not separate from us. We are one with them in consciousness. They are here in sacred service, as are we. They said, "Thank you, sister. You are most welcome. We are so grateful for you. And we are so grateful for our own presence and our own sacredness. And we honor our power. We honor our choice to be present in the state of higher consciousness." And now the body is relaxing, the higher self, all cosmic energy, coding, everything just upgraded. That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. That was the most intense I have ever felt. I just felt my entire being was being erected and held upright by my higher self. Not just that, but by every aspect of light and energy that was called in. So to finalize this transmission, I'm also going to invoke that the next phase of higher self-ascension is in motion. So we are now moving into our next experience of our higher self, moving into the next experience of us in this realm from a state of higher perception and a state of higher consciousness. So calling in now the mighty fire dragons to just do a cleansing of the space, to remove any energy that is still remaining in the spherical grid space of any and every soul that has joined this transmission, purifying the space, allowing the mighty fire dragons to just release that energy calling it back into the womb of creation. So grateful to have had every soul here. This is probably one of the more powerful transmissions I have provided. I still feel the vibrations being done on the nervous system. The connection point to our universal chakra really came in. Yeah, it exactly. I mean, it just felt like something. It felt like my entire spine was erected on its own, and it was held up with almost not like force, but with so much intensity that it almost felt like I was being pulled up. I thought I was going to lift up out of my seat for a moment. I could feel where the energy, and I also want you guys to be very aware that that was you. That was you doing the work. Those energies that were here to assist, they're just assisting and working in the field. It's all us. So there was a lot of energy that was reclaimed. I felt a lot of energy. There was so much restoration done. So much. Like, oh, and I just feel this. I feel like all of the fluids and everything to the organic spine has just been completely restored. My legs aren't falling asleep, and they always fall asleep. This is amazing. This is the first time I have not had to move from this position. And there's still what I'm seeing is the crystalline heart. We have now come into a greater connection with the crystalline heart, which is feeding. That energy is feeding us. So the more that when we stated that truth, that this is where we are in a state of consciousness, and we choose to consistently be in our state of light, in our state of consciousness, and speaking that truth, that the mind is no longer the mechanism of providing us with direction. We have now accessed a state of consciousness enough to where we know that all that we need to do is speak an intention within the light, and it is done. When we step our awareness into our light body self, it is done. It is a beautiful feeling. Like, I feel like I just feel my body operating at the blueprint of health, which is what every soul has. The blueprint of health. And I just looked up, it was 12252. Now it's 12255. Your blueprint of health, it becomes broken down over time. That's why time is is along with your health are the two most valuable assets in this realm. Not money, but time. It is given to us so that we can use it in this way. But see, when you enter consciousness, time doesn't actually exist. You're just present in the now. So if you use your time to come into the only experience, which is the now, and in the now you always are going to experience from a place of consciousness, begin to invoke your truth. Begin to speak and invoke what it is you intend to experience as such. And with this coding, there was definitely, as stated, an upgrade to the DNA. A new activation of the DNA, which means the human organic was upgraded and the light body genome was activated again. That was absolutely beautiful. It was intense. Now I can feel it coming back down into, so everything that was imparted to us is final. It's done. And I speak the truth that everything that was received in this transmission, it applies to our reality experience. And it applies to us in every now moment. So I'm speaking the truth that in every now moment, we are conscious and aware of us as the light self. And I want to call all souls that are experiencing suffering in our reality, I want you to just hold them. Instead of chasing it in every other moment, I want you in this moment, just for now, because this is going to be a consistent. You don't need to focus on it any other time but now. I want you to bring all souls that you worry about, that you hold a concern over. I want you to bring them into your heart now and meet them there. They are already there. Just bring your awareness, hold their name, and feel that energy meet you there. And I'm going to state the intention that all souls that are suffering, although we have to let them fulfill their suffering, we are not going to attempt to rectify that for them. We would like to send them love. All souls that are suffering, we send them love. We hold them in our heart. We hold them in joy. We hold them in love. We hold them in unity. And we honor them always. We honor their choices. Although we do not have to meet them at their choices, we honor them. We also honor our own choice to be present in this way. Therefore, we uphold where we are with integrity. It means that just because, that's why, even though I'm in sacred service, I could offer this to everyone, and I do, but it doesn't mean I allow everyone into this intimate experience. They must truly be able to fulfill themselves through the commitment of this heart space. If they are not, then they will just receive freely on, something such as this, like YouTube or Facebook. And I say that with the utmost love for all souls. But those of us that are anchored into this, we know what is necessary. We also know what is asked of us. All souls are ready. They're meant to be. So we all highest perception. Doesn't mean they don't exist there. When you are operating from your highest perception, you can always meet with them at their higher self. And you can work. Thank you. I want to thank all energies that have joined us for this transmission. I want to thank the Ascended Masters of Merlin and Kuan Yin and all of those of the stellar star races, the cosmic universal origins that have joined us from the Ascended Master tribes. From all the universal realms, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm also going to now release the gateways, the Venusian and Syrian gateways, and allowing all that has been imparted from the gateways to remain, of course. This was a major transmission. That was probably the most powerful transmission I've ever experienced that I've channeled. And I knew it was going to be powerful because we were bringing in a coding of the third eye. And with such a coding means everything is going to follow suit. Because the gateway of the third eye, that's outside of illusion, that's fully present in consciousness. And that was amazing. That was amazing. And I feel the reparations that took place, like stated, to our blueprint, our health blueprint of health, our blueprint of mental state, our blueprint of emotional state, and our blueprint of physical state were all purified, cleansed, balanced, and brought into harmony. And they were also upgraded. So that was absolutely amazing. And I know I feel amazing. And I also feel like it's like coming back into, those of us that are doing this, we are choosing to bring such into the existence of this realm. We are anchoring this. So I'm actually probably going to be, now that we have this platform and I can do this, I will probably be doing this every single day, almost. Getting it set up to where, of course, I have to do the recordings. Yeah. Well, and that's, just know that, well, when you call them in energetically, their energy is already there. So what I mean by calling them in is like just speaking their energy. And if you heard that they were saying not yet energetically, that was actually energetically, they're already meeting you there. Their energy is already there. We're always together in the heart. So I don't know if you were trying to call them in physically, Becca, or if you were calling them in energetically and you heard that. Can you clarify that for me, please? And I will have the recordings now. Yay! I will have the recordings coming through very soon. I will actually be working on those starting tomorrow. And I will just record them on here. I'll just make it a live transmission on here. And then give the link. Probably make a playlist and just send the link to the playlist. That's what I'll do. I'll just create them, put them in a playlist, and send the link to the playlist. And they'll be private, of course. So for those like yourself that have paid for the recordings, and when you've paid for the recordings, you'll get a link, and I'll have the playlist, and it'll be consistent of 3 recordings, 3 of these at a time. So so anytime you call their energy into you, their energy, all you're doing is stating that intention, but energetically, on a higher self level, they're already meeting you in the heart. The whole purpose of that is just stating it as an intention so that you are able to fulfill the intention. But on a higher self level, they're already there. So what that is that's your own resistance. And what you recognize is you actually, I'm still not clear. Did you actually physically call their names to come join you? Or were you just stating internally the intention, Becca? Because you said maybe I was calling their higher selves in, but that still doesn't give me any clarity, my dear. Just let me know. Were you actually physically talking to them physically in person, or were you calling their energy in internally? Just say in person or internally. That'll clarify. Then I can give you the guidance. I already feel like I know what it is, but I would just like to have the clarity. Okay, cool. There we go. That's why I wanted to speak into it as being the resistance, but I wanted to make sure you clarified it. So when you heard that response, that was your psyche, that was your mind giving you that response. That was not their energy. Because this is something, yeah, okay, cool, internally, beautiful. Because you see, their higher selves are already in the heart space. We're all already meeting. We already have that aspects of ourselves that are meeting us at that vibration. So they already exist there. All you do when you state that intention is to make that experience. You speak the truth of what your experience of the energy is going to be. So what you heard was actually your mind. It was not their energy. What you heard was your mind. That's your own resistance to how you perceive, not resistance, but that was how you perceive. Well, actually, no, I feel it. Resistance still keeps coming up. So let's go to it. Resistance meaning you have been blocking. There's a block there. Release that, knowing that as soon as you state it, it is. Meaning they're always there to join you. So let's just, no, that definitely is it. Definitely is it. Because energetically, what I'm talking about energetically is not on an illusionary level. I'm talking about energy internally in terms of your channel. Your channel and your experience of the energy internally is not just, we say internally because we have all these layers of experience in terms of the mind, the mental, the emotional, the physical. Those are all layers. But all of it is coming from the core source, which is the soul. So all of that is layered upon the soul. So your inner channel is your soul self. All of the layers give it the experience of the illusion, so that you can project your experience. So that's why everything comes in through these layers of energy and then is projected back outwards. Once you reach the soul self, once you start doing this part of the journey, then you're receiving from here. You're receiving from consciousness. You're not receiving from the mind, and you're not receiving from the psyche. I mean, you still are, but you're starting to recognize the difference. What happened or what you heard in that was, that's been how you have been recognizing a response to energy. So just now you're able to transcend that, and the truth and the recognition and the experience, the knowing that they are already there meeting you. So we'll just go ahead and remove that block and give yourself an opportunity to open up to that and know that they were already there. That there is no time and space within consciousness. So it's not, there's never going to be, I'll meet you at another time or I'll meet you later. That's just an illusion of the mind. The mind creates time and distance. All right. Man, today was powerful. Today was so powerful. So thank you for joining. This was such a treat. Such a treat. I'm actually going to go back and do, I'm about to go back into and go even deeper. I feel there's even more stuff here that I'm going to bring through for tomorrow. And I'm going to start seeing how I'm going to get all this set up on here so I can provide, I look forward to providing a lot more of the transmissions on here. So we'll definitely start switching to here. And so I'm really excited about that. So looking forward to seeing you guys this weekend as well on here. There was a lot that came through. If you would like to, for those of you that are in my soul pod, of course, this is technically meant to be just for my soul pod. I don't know if how many others are joining in that are not for my soul pod. I can't see, but for those that did get to join and did get to experience this, we were doing a test run, so I will have more streams that will be live in public, but the majority of these are going to be private for my soul pod. So, but I think this was a beautiful experience for those that have never experienced anything like this, or that are not in the soul pod, to have an opportunity. So I'm actually going to share it because it was public on here. I'm just going to share it on my Facebook page and give people an opportunity to access it. And I feel like that's something that's going to be a really beautiful experience, because I do know that we've got more souls that are coming to join us over the next few months. So I do feel that this is going to provide them with that access point. So, but the remainder of those that we do, of course, will be private. And of course, I will be recording the transmissions for those that you guys are paying for, that are recorded transmissions. So looking forward to that. And I would like to try something really quickly, Becca, since you're here. I'm going to go grab my mic and plug it in and see if the mic works. Because if it does, that would be fantastic. Dude, are you still out here? Okay, let's see if this works. Everything is like soaking wet out here. Everything. Try not to get this box soaking wet, but I don't really think I'm going to have a choice. Okay. Let's try this. Even the mic is wet. So I think it's supposed to be drier tomorrow. I hope so. Okay, here we go. Can you hear me, Becca? If you can hear me, let me know, and then I'll try the singing bowl, even though I've already put it up. And I have to hold it up. I can't turn it sideways. Yay! That's amazing. Okay, let's try the singing bowl really quickly. I'm going to sit this down. Okay. Yeah, I'm still, let me place it. It's also wet, so hoping so is the cord and everything, so I'm sure that's not helping. But I will work on fixing that. Okay, here comes the singing bowl. Just let me know if you hear anything. Can you hear that? Ah, that's amazing. Yes. Never thought I would say this, but YouTube, I love you. I really never thought I'd say that. But I do. I'm so grateful for YouTube. So, new mic. Mic is working so much better than Facebook, right? It is. So, that's probably really loud. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. Let me unplug it. All right, you guys. So thank you for joining this transmission. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're just now tuning in, if you're just now joining this, I'm wrapping up, but this was a very powerful transmission. Very powerful. And one of the only ones of this power that will be offered freely, as this is one that was meant to be for my soul pod, but we were just trying this platform out today instead of Facebook or Zoom, because Zoom I can't use this on. So all right, you guys, I'm gonna go in and get everything dry, get myself dry, get everything dry, and I'm very much looking forward to joining you all tomorrow, I feel. Okay, love you, my dear. Please be safe, and I will catch up with you guys on WhatsApp here soon. I love you, I love you, I love you. And until next time, everyone, Adonai.